Hey guys, it's Go Do Your Own Research. Hope everyone's doing really well tonight. It's another Saturday night live stream. So I just want to show you what's going on the Blake Lively docket right now. Welcome to my life. This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. May 1st. Look at all that. "66 attachments to look at. I've not looked at all of them. That was just May 1st. April 30th, there was all this. That's 2 days worth of stuff I've got to catch up on. However, we're not going to do it all tonight. Tonight, we are focusing on... Let me show y'all. Oh, before I do that, actually. Kayla. Well, I don't know what's up with the Princess Cruise Line. Tell me more. Oops. Hi from Florida. Hi. How are you? Althea. What's up with Florida? It's kind of warm here at the moment, actually, in the UK. Yeah, what's up with the Princess Cruise Line? I don't know what you're on about there, so you'll have to fill me in. You can't with all the dumping. This is why I don't make videos about every single thing, because it's like we're getting so close to the trial now, and they're still doing all this limine stuff, which I don't even really know what that means. So I'm like, look, what I saw today was we've had some important stuff unsealed, which is Melissa Nathan's deposition, Jed Wallace's deposition that was redacted before because they were trying to keep it confidential. And yeah, so we're going to go through that. We're going to go through Melissa's deposition. There's more messages, but at this point, if anyone is trying to say this wasn't a smear campaign, they really need their head examined. Seriously. You're good, thanks. It's been hot weather. Usually rains a bit more. Technically, your area's in a drought. Yeah, I see a lot of hurricanes going on in Florida, so hopefully you're not in that zone. Crazy. You saw a message. Oops. You grew up in the UK, came across my channel from Kalichi's channel. Oh, Kalichi. I forgot her name, but I know who you mean. Yes. Well, because I commented on there. Yeah, it was about a year ago. I went to the Not My King event, and she was hosting it. She was really good, and I interviewed her like at the end. Well, I asked her a question. It was very exciting. It was like my first ever live interview for my channel, right, on the street interview, I should say. You saw a message about someone not being able to go on the cruise because of all the BL chat. Oh my god, no way. That's too much jokes. Kalichi Okafor. Yeah, sorry. Let me just let you into a little secret, Althea. I'm really terrible with names and years. Sometimes I'll be watching my live streams back and I'm like, oh my god, why did you just say that? Like, So please feel free to correct me if I make a mistake with someone's name or the year. Right, let's get on with this. Okay, first things first. We've got this one. So this is, I don't even know what this actually was. See, look, this is 103 pages. This is one of the exhibits. But so I don't confuse myself, I'm going to show you this first because of what I just said there. So this is the Omnibus Memorandum of Law in opposition to defendants' motions in limine. Right, so if we go down to where I just had it saved. There, right. Right, so you see this bit here, the footnote? This is about Jed Wallace trying to keep his clients confidential, yeah? Wallace should not be permitted to redact client, quote unquote, names absent a showing that the individual whose identity he seeks to shield is in fact his client. For a number of individuals discussed at Wallace's deposition, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, I seem to remember not too long ago, because I don't really keep up with all this celebrity gossip, but sometimes you just see things on the timeline, so you know something's been going on, like the Victoria Beckham thing the other day. But yeah, I seem to remember a lot of stuff coming out about Robert F. Kennedy and some woman that he had an affair with kind of recently. Wonder if they had anything to do with it. Wallace repeatedly insisted they were not his client and had never engaged him to perform services of any kind, and therefore could not possibly have any explanation of privacy in whatever voluntary assistance Wallace was provided. So basically, this is yet another example of him being a big fat bull liar. Just saying. Right, let's get on to Melissa. So Alfia, are you up on this case, or are you is this new to you? Because I've made a lot of content about this. So if there's anything you're not understanding, please feel free to drop it in the chat if I need to give you further explanation. Okay, so Melissa Nathan, we have her deposition, and I'm going to start with this bit, which was near the end. So she's being asked, I've gone a little bit too far ahead of myself. So Friedman's present. Right, so yeah, September this was, September 2025. So she's being asked, I think she's being asked about the video with Sage Steele here, but they haven't actually shown that bit of the conversation on this particular section. So then she's asked, and it's your testimony, I think, that you had no view at this time whether Ms. Lively had a less than favourable reputation in the industry. Let me just get rid of that comment. RFJ hired Wallace to downplay bonking Olivia Nutsey. Newsy? I wouldn't be surprised since that scandal broke a month or two before he dropped out the presidential race. I think you could be right there. I literally think you could be right, because in Jed Wallace's deposition, yeah, now that it's unsealed, he actually says something about that. Not the woman's name, but about DJT, which I think stands for Donald J. Trump. Anyway, we're just going to focus on this for now. Right. It's your testimony, I think, that you had no view at this time whether Ms. Lively had a less than favourable reputation in the industry. Melissa, at the beginning, like I testified, I did not know. Right at the beginning, I had no idea. Right? Did you believe at this point in time that when Ms. Lively wasn't able to get her way on set or behind the scenes, she involved her husband to create an imbalance of power between her and Mr. Baldoni? At what time? At the time this document was created. I'm not sure if this was the exact time. Okay. Do you see the scenarios that have been listed out? I do. Do you see in the first scenario, you say, ready for this? Depending on the scope of her push, we recommend planting a seed earlier on. Do you see that? Yes. Because of the old case that happened to him when he was, I think, 19. Let me use my highlighter. Melissa Nathan and her big mouth. You see that? I see that. And you said you needed to brainstorm on that. Yes. Ms. Abel responds, I didn't even think about that. Yes, I knew that from 1986. Well, guess what I looked up today, yeah? Justin Baldoni case, 1986. And guess what came up? Absolutely nothing. I see that, yeah. Ms. Nathan, did any representative of Ms. Lively ever make this argument, the argument on the second page, that this was why? Mr. Friedman, objection. No. Okay, so she's being questioned by Gottlieb, Mr. Gottlieb. Did any representative of Ms. Lively ever say anything about this? No. But at that point, we've been lied on. We had received death threats. I had to call my child's school. We wanted to move out of our house. My whole team and Jen, we were in complete states of panic and fear and shock because of the lies that had been spread about us. We were trying to be prepared, as is our job, as to anything that you and your team might do. Okay. Gottlieb, can I get a time check? All right, I think this is a good time for a break. The time is 4:49 p.m. So 20 minutes later, she says, can I just correct the record on one thing that I remembered when I did some research after you asked me? Gottlieb, the witness, about the client I worked with Jed. Gottlieb, sorry? So I don't think that's not the same conversation, but they're just giving us little snippets. They're giving us cliffhangers, literally. Okay, so this is page 395. As read, I can add many women who were part of the production. Not sure I should go too much deeper there. Based on trying to make it look organic. Like I don't have too much insider info. Do you see that? One sec, guys. Sorry, getting another phone call. Oops, sorry about that. My daughter went to Ibiza and she's just broken her arm, so had a bit of a drama today. And she wasn't drunk, by the way. You're curious to know what happened in 1986? No, I think she's talking about Baldoni because that's to Jen Abel. That's to Jen Abel. Sam Baldoni. Wait, let me go back up. I started to think, is there something about Justin we need to know about that happened when he was 19? Because that would be the right age, wouldn't it? Or is he? Or am I wrong? I'm terrible with numbers as well. Where was it? Yeah. Because of the old case that happened to him when he was, I think, 19. I see that. And you said you needed to brainstorm on that. Yes. Ms. Abel responds, I didn't even think about that. Yes, I knew that from 1986. So I don't think Jen Abel had anything to do with RFK. Right. Okay, so this is where I was before my phone call. So yeah, as I just read out, based on trying to make it look organic. Yeah. I wanted to say actually, someone made a really good comment on one of my videos. Someone who's quite often in the live chat. Ghost Cat. I'll see if I can find it. Oh. I've had so many comments. Right, so Ghost Cat, she's written a very long answer, but I'll reply to someone. But this is what you call an intelligent audience. So she's replied to basically, so when I did my live stream of the tweeting the other day, yeah, I had 2 comments saying that according to me, nothing is Blake's fault was one, and the other one was like, she doesn't have any supporters apart from you because she's so horrible. So Ghost Cat said it's fascinating how you can watch the live courtroom tweets and still see people taking sides when the focus should be on the truth. I've lost interest in cheering for one side or the other. I'm more concerned with how our media works and realizing the info we get might be influenced by paid sources or bots. Tag has a proprietary software that acts as legitimate influence as a service and slew of algorithm fame engineers, but their messaging all sounds similar. I recognized the Warpath algorithm in August 2024. Mic drop. Yeah. So back to this. Do you see that? I see that. Do you feel like the video that Miss Steele put out looked organic? I can't even remember it. Did you ever watch it? I'm pretty sure maybe at the time I did. Like I said, that period of time was absolutely horrendous. I was completely scared for myself and my child. And I really don't remember much. It was one of the worst possible times of my life. So, no, I was not concentrating. And as you can see, I'm not on it. I didn't reply. And I'm like, you know, it's really, really hard for me to feel sorry for her or Katie Case. Katie Case is a rat. I'm telling you. She is the definition of a rat, the old school meaning. I saved a Katie Case document that got released a couple of days ago because sometimes I'll like skim through and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I'll save that. And it's literally been removed. And she also requested to not show her face on camera. The only person in the Rebel Wilson Charlotte McKenna's trial, she was the only person that was like, I don't want my what do you call it? Is it called interrogation? My testimony to be on camera. Do you know what they could do? They could stop doing this for a living. That's what they could do. That's how I look at it. I'm sorry if that sounds heartless, but I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel bad putting her face up on my thumbnails. I think more people should. You are I said this right back at the beginning, yeah. You are dealing with crazy people when you're winding these troll farms up. Really, some of these people are really, really unhinged, genuinely. It has nothing to do with whether they support Blake Lively or not. Anyway, sorry, I'm ranting. Gottlieb says, and I'm sorry about that, Miss Nathan, and I'm sorry I have to ask these questions, but I'm just trying to give you context, Melissa said. Ms. Abel offers some comments, right? Objection. I can see her name, yes. Okay, so now we're on to page 407, and they're talking about the process server. So I think what they've done here is really kind of highlighted. Melissa is doing this, oh, I'm a victim of how awful these people are. That's my take on it. I don't know what you all think. Oh, Justin was born in 1984. Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right. I don't think he had anything going on when he was 2. Okay, yeah, so I've got that wrong then. But then, well, then who on earth were they talking about? Oh, maybe it was Jamie. The plot thickens. Right. Okay, so page 407, sending process servers to people's homes, right? Brian Friedman. Ejection. I do understand that. Would you have given that statement if you had known that Ms. Lively's lawyers reached out at the moment her lawsuit was filed in the Southern District of New York and asked your attorneys to accept service? Brian Friedman. Objection. Well, if that was the case, then I wouldn't have. The situation of when the process server came to my house and there was a tree on my roof and my kid was crying and we were about to evacuate, then that wouldn't have happened. So it was kind of a moot point. It wouldn't have happened. Gottlieb, it wouldn't have happened unless your lawyers chose not to accept service, right? Brian Friedman, objection. I mean, I'm not sure, but the if I was that's how I was served, and I was served. I think the fires were on the 7th or 8th, and I was served on one of the those days. And I find it quite despicable that anyone was serving anyone when all the houses were burning. And some of our team even lost their whole houses. So that's how I personally feel. Yeah. Gottlieb. Ms. Nathan, I'm sorry that that happened to you. I'm not even asking for that. I'm just saying that I'm offering it to you. Thank you. I'm sorry that happened to you. Thank you. That is why I will represent to you that we reached out to your attorney, who's sitting right next to you, Brian Friedman, and asked if he would accept service on your behalf. And I wish he could have said yes, Mr. Friedman. Objection. Do you wish he would have said yes? Brian Friedman, move to strike. I mean, I wish all of this wouldn't have happened. So this is so spicy. No wonder they didn't want us seeing it. Did you ever come to learn that you're... Oh, that's it. That's it on that one. Right. Okay, so let's go back to the docket. So that's Jed Wallace's deposition right there. I'm not going to open it now because we're going to just do Melissa tonight. Otherwise, it's going to go on too long. Okay, so this is pages 9 to 29. Sorry for the delay. Let's see what the chat's saying. Jamie would have been 16 in 1986. Oh, they said 19. I wouldn't be surprised if he sowed his wild oats before committing to the whole Baha'i spiel. Plus, he had inroads with musicians. Yeah. There's something fishy about him, I'm telling you. Like, he's got a lot of anger issues and stuff going on. And, like, I don't know if you've ever watched any of his, like, before he started working for Wayfarer, and he used to do his Baha'i recruitment talks. There's something very Scientology-esque about them. IMO. But yeah, this is just us speculating. I mean, it is weird though. Who the hell would they be talking about that's relevant to this case that's in 1986? Drop it in the comments. So here we are on page 196, and Gottlieb says, okay, and I mean here, Ms. Case says that the team will focus on the social and digital elements, and she gives some specifics on that. I see that. And again, you earlier testified Mr. Wallace was the only social or digital team that you had in mind for this work. Objection, form. No, I think earlier I did say that we were reaching out to one or two in a different text message. I think I gave 2 options from my memory. But yes, in this instance, this was around street relations. Okay, this quote is a description of services that is describing the services that street relations would provide. Is that right? Objection. Objection. So we've got Glover and Friedman objecting. I did not write this. Did you write any of this, Miss Nathan? I didn't. I don't think I did. No. Okay. I could have, unless you want to show me something else. But I do not speak this kind of language either. Okay, is it possible that you received some language from Mr. Wallace, that you provided that language to Ms. Case, and that some of that language wound up here in this email? Objection, objection. I mean, I don't recall that, but this isn't what we do. So she would have got the language somewhere. Okay, I just want to understand if you're saying if it's possible or not possible that you provided some of this content to Ms. Case. I don't recall if it was me. I don't see this type of language, but unless there's something that I'm like, here, Katie, please write this, I honestly don't recall. Okay, you see here, Ms. Case writes, the integral part is to execute all without fingerprints. Yes, I do. And that echoes something that you wrote in a document we looked at a little while ago about efforts being untraceable, right? I was going to say the same thing. Those words still ring in my ears from December of 2024. I can see that sentence, yes. Was it your understanding that that was important to Mr. Heath in the services that would be provided in the social or digital space? Mr. Friedman, objection. I can't think to what Mr. Heath was thinking, but I do know in situations like this, it's high stakes. You don't want, it's confidential. You don't want, it's a crisis. Okay, and the bullet points that you see there, there is a description of services. Do you see those? After specific efforts include, yes. And is it your understanding that these were services that street relations could provide if called upon to do so for the wayfarer parties? Objection. Objection. Again, I don't know exactly where she got the language from. If there was an email that I have missed in which it's either me or someone else doing it, I can. But, I don't work in the digital space, right? That bit, yeah? Just remember that. I don't work in the digital space, she says. Like, all of this is like a completely different language to me. Playing dumb. Mr. Gottlieb, I understand that, and I promise you we'll look at that. That's fine. That text that you're searching for, yeah, I'm really just trying to understand. I mean, this was conveyed by Katie Case. Katie, who works for you? To Mr. Heath. And it is a description, according to Ms. Case, following up on the social digital conversation this morning with specifics about social and digital mitigation and remediation. Do you see that? I see that. And then at 12:36 p.m., you type out 30K monthly for 3-month minimum, properly and strategically monitor damaging Reddit/subreddit, X, Discord, X or etc. threads relating to concerning opposition and manage the narrative. And speaking of Reddit, yeah, because I did have a quick look on there. I'm not sure if it was today or yesterday, but someone on it ends with lawsuit. So I kind of look at them now and again, and I look at celeb legal drama, but normally 3 posts in, I'm like literally, I feel like my brain's about to melt. So I have to But I noticed someone had made a really long post using the unsealed deposition, and they were like, "Oh my god, I just realized Jed said all along he was only monitoring." I'm like, who believes that you're going to hire someone for 30 grand a month to monitor? I just don't get it. I don't get the thinking. X Discord. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about that. So the other day, I was having a little look on there, and there was something about a Discord drama uh, to do with the Baldoni side. X or etc. threads relating to concerning opposition and manage the narrative. This can only be done with legacy admin for each platform. They work for us. So I'm not sure if it's this one, but when I was reading it earlier, they're going to start talking about Wikipedia edits, which is really interesting. I see that. Do you see that? You wrote that. I did. Where did you get that language? I'm not sure where. Who sent it to me? This is a woman who runs her own $50 million company. Is there any person other than Jed Wallace who could have sent that to you? Objection. I wasn't speaking to anyone else on at this point for this case. And these services are a description of services that you believe Jed Wallace could provide, right? Objection form. I do not understand what these services are, so half of them, I don't understand what they are. Here she goes again. Playing dumb. I think they've got some messages that might disprove all of this. Okay, what half do you understand? I understand monitoring. Okay, I do understand the wiki situation because I've had different issues with that from my other clients. So I happen to know that there was a connection between one of the wiki editors who worked on some of the people in the Johnny Depp case. I think one of them was her ex-friend. Her name's gone out of my brain. She was a journalist, Eve something. She was pro Amber Heard. She's another ex-friend of Melissa Nathan who hates her now. Anyway, I know there was something about the edits on her Wikipedia, and that umbrella guy who was also associated with the Johnny Depp case and orchestrated smearing. That's why you need admin editors, which is very above board. Okay, I don't. That's a reference to the second sentence here as read. With seasoned admin editors on peripheral elements like Wikipedia and fan pages, yes, you need to have editors to be able to overlook Wikipedia these days. It's different to what it used to be. So I wonder if it's different to what it used to be because it's been corrupted by people like you. I mentioned as well, yeah, like in case anyone is interested, in my commentary on Alexa Nicholas and her engaging Tony Busby to sue Brian Friedman for defamation, Tony Busby was also accused of illicitly editing his Wikipedia and Jay-Z's Wikipedia. Sorry, Rock Nation, I think. In Jay-Z's lawsuit against him, which I can't wait for. I told our friend Josh that Melissa is a boss and has a cool client. Josh told his wife. Okay, so they're talking about the Hollywood Reporter thing again here. This is page 283. So this is a message from Ms. Chozik. I told our friend Josh that Melissa is a boss and has a cool client. Josh told his wife, who was a very prominent publicist, Sarah, somehow told the Hollywood Reporter. And now they are doing a story on Nell. Do you see that? Yes. That's a reference to the Hollywood Reporter story that was about you, right? Objection. Melissa, but this is not true. Gottlieb, this is not true? No. Ms. Chozik just made that up. Not just made it up. This is not the way that you're characterizing it. It's not actually what happened. How is it not what happened? Well, Josh, who I know very well, he's friends with Pamela McClintock, and like they all know each other, and they did not place this story on me. Well, I didn't. You just did. You just said that. I didn't say they placed the story. So there's a distinction between placing a story and a reporter learning information, is there not? Yes. So Ms. Chozik here is saying that Josh told his wife, who's a prominent publicist, what's Josh's wife's name? Sarah. And Sarah somehow told the Hollywood Reporter. Do you see that? I see that. You don't say anywhere in this chain, do you, that that's incorrect, do you? Yeah, because I didn't need to. They continue discussing down about how you will hate this, but it needs to be done. And Miss Chozik says, I didn't mean to be your publicist, but this is good. Do you see that? As read. Rockstar Crisis PR. You screenshot your conversation with Ms. McClintock on the next day and say, I swear, Amy. And Ms. Chozik then has a few comments about what your conversation with Ms. McClintock might have been, right? It says, tell her to call me if she needs a reporter to say nice things about you. And then Ashley says, what publication? Ms. Chozik says, THR, the Hollywood Report. And it continues down. At no point, I guess, why don't you point me to where in this conversation you see an understanding from your friends that what was described by Ms. Chozik at 7:40 p.m. was just a joke. It didn't happen at all. Brian Friedman. Objection! My friends are always, they are joking about me here. Right. And they are joking about you, but there's a joke there. There's a joke at the end of it. Men are always a problem. This is the way my friends talk to me. Your testimony is, yes, that this recitation of events, as read, as you sit here, I'm trying to think of what else there has been. There's been a fair few. Oh, okay, we've moved on to a different conversation. So I was just going to say, in case anyone needs reminded, she has tried to say to different people that the Hollywood Reporter article was planted by Leslie Sloan or Stephanie Jones, depending on who she's talking to that day. I'm just saying. I can't, there's a few. When you say not specifically the legal firms, it's legal firms that bring someone like me in. So that's where I get my relationships from. That's how I get hired, is by legal. So no, not really. So going back to Epstein again, the client that she denies working for in 2017, following their meeting at Jeffrey Epstein's house, they did indeed sign a contract with Darren Indyke, Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. So maybe that's why she was trying to be clever and be like, oh no, he wasn't never my client. Using the most recent experience you've had with Mr. Wallace. Yeah. Can you describe what he does? And another thing, another little bit of info. So when she was first talking to Jen Abel and suggesting Brian Friedman as a lawyer, she also mentioned Ashley, I've forgotten her name, but she works for, oh my God, I've forgotten his name as well. Larry, something with F. For now, I haven't thought about it for a while, but that's Drake's lawyer. Just saying. Drake's lawyer, yeah. When that girl came out and said that Drake had made her drink urine or something like that and got her pregnant. Using the most recent experiences you've had with Mr. Wallace, yeah. Can you describe what he does? He monitors digital and he works in the digital space. I do also have knowledge that he helps a lot of people as well. So he helps people who are either in active addiction, who have had addiction problems. So I do have knowledge that in his genre of work that he does help people a lot. He wasn't very helpful to Bam Margera with his addiction. I think the people he helps are the brokers that do the insurance claim deals for rehab centers, huge American rehab corporations. Some people call it a scam. Have you ever worked with Mr. Wallace on such a project? On addiction? Yeah. No. From the projects in which you have? Yes. What did you mean by that? Oh, we've jumped to another page. Because you want to have someone that takes on both people, not just all men or women. You want to have someone that's fair and reasonable. So I think she was talking about Brian Friedman there, because I remember her saying something like, oh, he's only representing women at the moment. And I'm like, Brian Friedman, fair and reasonable. I can't think of any less accurate words. On the next page, 2154, there is another reference to a statement. Yes. And you and Miss Abel have a reaction to that. Again, you say here, career killer for them and Wayfarer. No, have to fight it. Do you see that? Yes. You say, lawyer up now. Yes. So your view at this point was that Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath needed a litigator. Is that right? Yes. They needed to retain one immediately. Brian Friedman, objection. I think, in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a crisis publicist and a normal publicist. I think Blake's behaviour, what she had been showing, was entirely unreasonable. I think Leslie Sloan placing stories, we're going to get into this tonight, some revelations. I was starting to hear were becoming, it was awful. And Justin was petrified. And really, why I was hired was to protect the movie. So, yes, I was doing my job. You thought that there was a pretty good shot this was heading down the litigation path. Objection. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I did want them to speak to a lawyer because I'm not a lawyer. Not very convincing. She mentioned it about 3 times. On the next page at 11:42, you say, can I start a signal thread with you, me, and Jed, just in case you need him to connect you to Brian because they're very close? Do you see that? In this text at 12:37 p.m., your testimony is talking to everyone. Sorry, your testimony is that is a reference to talking the client off the ledge. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, what were the 2 pieces you were referencing? The one that Leslie Sloan placed at the New York Post, which was about Justin Baldoni. It was a negative piece with my sister, Sarah Nathan. And I don't know the second one, I can't remember. So her story is that she was hired to protect the movie. Just keep that in mind. I don't know the second one. I can't remember. Was the second one a Daily Mail story? I can't remember. Did you talk to your sister about that piece before it ran? Yes. And in talking to your sister about that piece before it ran, you made certain arguments and provided certain information about things that you thought she shouldn't print, right? As I would do to every reporter. But the piece was negative against Justin Baldoni. So the answer to my question is yes. Yes. So obvious. This is page 381. Yes, how do you know that? It's my assumption because bots do look, well, those, hey, this product is great. Like I was saying, looks ridiculous. So a minute ago, she was like, I don't know anything about the digital space, but she knows what regular bots look like. Have you really not had conversations with people in the digital space to understand what the base is for what you said there? This is just from how I am starting to learn about it as I'm still now learning about it. Scratching my chin. At any point in time, have you come to understand the very specific thing that Mr. Wallace was doing? Objection. Objection. No. Were you ever curious about what he might be doing? No. If you don't know what he was doing, how do you know that he was doing nothing other than monitoring social media? Right? What was the magic that you kept talking about? He's a magician, you said. He's a magician that helps people cure their addictions, allegedly. But that is what he was doing. How do you know that? Because that's exactly what he told us he was doing. And he was monitoring something that we do not do, the social landscape and digital landscape. Except when you told Zoe, the intern, to monitor. When did Mr. Wallace tell you that the only thing he was doing was monitoring social media accounts? I do not recall the exact time and date he told me anything. Okay, does it make any sense to you at all if the only thing Mr. Wallace was doing was monitoring social media accounts, while your colleagues at TAG repeatedly sent things to him to boost or amplify? You just reminded me, Jamil is going to come up in a minute. That's why she's in the thumbnail. Objection form. Does it make sense to me? Yes. For positive things, yes. To look at. This is a positive, yes. Duh. If you're telling him it's positive, then you're doing the monitoring, not him, surely. Okay, so then your testimony is not that the only thing Mr. Wallace was doing was monitoring, right? Right, that's that one. That's that one out of the way. Ted Bundy said he didn't kill anyone. I don't know. I think he's telling the truth, right? Honestly, they could literally. I mean, that I swear to God, that's what they were trying to do with Epstein. 100. That's where they were heading. You didn't know Drake was out here trying to be R. Kelly? I mean, yeah. It might. I'll have to double check on that, but it was definitely a bodily fluid. She wasn't underage though. That's the only thing. Tag being the black rock of PR, but I just can't prove it. Another thing about the Drake thing, yeah, is do you remember that guy? I don't know how far back you go, but when I made the video about Sean Atwood and the P. Diddy scammers, there was this guy called Jonathan Hay who popped up during the P. Diddy trial. And he started doing like a YouTube, he started doing a dodgy, a sus scammer YouTube commentary channel tour. And well, he first appeared on Tisa Tells. That was when I used to watch Tisa Tells, and I was like, oh my God. But then he just went around on all the other channels. So then I was just like, oh my God, there's something dodgy about this guy. But yeah, he said that he worked for Rihanna. Well, he was working for the record label when Rihanna was first signed, and they didn't have any budget to promote her single. So they made up a story that she'd slept with Jay-Z, basically. So that's that. And then he also said that he worked for Sophie, Drake's baby mum, and then because Melissa Nathan was working for Drake, he ended up switching over and working for Melissa Nathan. Right, we've got here, to say these people are connected, it's just unreal. Sorry for the delay. Put that comment back up. It's funny. I just see the way Drake's going right now, like in a few years, give him a few years. It's going to be messy. Okay, so this one caught my eye because it's like, I've not seen it before, and it's on the 14th of August. So remember, this is the day the THR article dropped announcing that he'd hired Tag. So Justin, using his alias Henny Grace, hello from the air above the UK. Melissa, oh gosh, don't land there. They might take you eat Nando's against your will. Let's wait for Friday to do the more personal one. I want to get the next few days out the way to make sure that there are no self-serving headlines and bullshit from the other side. Sharing the one from an actual DV charity today feels like the right move because honestly, that is incredibly well put together. Justin's like, talk to me about this. So I'm really frustrated about this crisis PR leak and framing it as Johnny Depp's firm to poise that I have something to hide. And also, there was abuse. So we know that was from James Batushka. I don't understand how we are feeling, how we are letting her continue to leak stories and do this to us. Just need you to walk me through this. Sure. Firstly, I am also incredibly frustrated. A PR should never be part of the story. But I also work with many people who are in trouble and protect them. And I see the way she used the words protect because we know that he loves to use that word. I just didn't feel the protection I felt on the call. They used JD because he's a headline grab, but also there was so much proof that he was also a victim of abuse, which is why we won. It's everyone, simple as that. It was a difficult relation for them both. I feel we can agree. Jen knows. I spoke for an hour on the phone from 12 to 1 a.m. my time. She swears she had nothing to do with it, but I know someone placed this. She's literally getting messages from her friend going, I should be your publicist. She can't figure out who placed it. It doesn't make you look bad. If anything, it makes you also look protected if you flip it around, as they also have crisis, Leslie. So there's another message I read. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it on tonight, but someone's telling her Leslie is not a crisis PR. She's just a regular publicist, so she doesn't know how to do crisis. Another journalist that knows her very well. All the reporters like and trust me. Woo! Which is why when they called me, they took out all the social media stuff and did a straight story as they wouldn't kill it. None of the stories are asking the why question. They are simply that he hired, which, by the way, in Hollywood is the most normal thing ever. If anything, it also makes you look prepared for anything. Social media is only towards you. BL was trending last night for hours. Again, see how she gives herself away. BL was trending last night for hours. Pro you. I don't know anything about the digital space, but I know that BL was trending last night for hours. Pro you, and again her, which honestly I don't love myself. And none of us wanted that, especially you, I'm sure. Whatever they tried to do, or whoever tried to do it, they failed. And getting a linking abuse of story. Don't know what that means. It also amazes me that these people do writing for a living, and when you read their texts, they're like illegible sometimes, incomprehensible. Wayfarer is a big studio now. Not anymore. What was their last movie? Propelled into a tier upwards, protecting you and the brand is something you need to do. Yeah, it's a shame that they could have been propelled into a tier upwards if this all hadn't happened. You want to see a headline? So then this is where she's talking about leaking stories. This is where the story comes out that Leslie Sloan was Harvey Weinstein's publicist. I think they've actually got it in, they've got it linked. It's an article from 2014. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But the thing is, it's an article from 2014. Harvey Weinstein was still doing his thing then. And she's unbelievable, because her boss in 2014 was probably still working for Harvey Weinstein. He worked for him. Wait, how long has Hiltzig been going? Might have been around that exact same time. But Hiltzig worked for Harvey Weinstein for 5.5 years and then carried on the relationship afterwards. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I agree, Melissa. Now you're talking about you're fearing for your life and ringing up the school because you're so scared of your safety. Justin, do you believe Leslie? Can you spin the crisis PR thing so it's actually factual? There have been lies put out up against powerful people. Just protecting myself. Tag reps a lot of people, and that headline was just to smear more. So he's literally admitting there that his own publicist is smearing him. So do we say Blake and Ryan hire Harvey Weinstein publicist? I mean, if only Justin had done that little search online and seen that he actually had hired pretty much Harvey Weinstein's publicist himself. Melissa, that's a conversation I'm going to have with Jen Jamie today. I said to Leslie on the phone, you tell us what you think the solution here is here. He is respectful, they don't like. He plays by their rules, they don't like. What do they like? I'm waiting on an answer. You hiring someone isn't a nuclear story, it's a prepared story. And everyone big in Hollywood has a crisis person, especially these days. Justin, I feel she needs to know we aren't scared. Melissa, oh, she does. I went through every single thing truthfully with her. I'm surprised you can even spell that. I think she's trying to get the cast and Colleen to make a statement or something together. I think she said something like, the whole cast hates Justin. I will get them on record. Oh dear. Doesn't that show our cards? If she knows our whole defense and you don't know her attack? Sorry, I'm just learning, not questioning. She said Colleen won't talk. She wishes she would. Cast won't talk. She doesn't care about that. She just cares about Blake looking like shit, and Blake is looking absolutely horrendous. It's helpful for me, emotionally, to have this info. I know this happened late. I think I can receive voice memos. Can you just send me a voice note walking me through all this and what this call was? I got cliff notes. Not in that way. I went day by day to show her we don't play stories. She also knows if I'm going to place a story, I will burn the house down. Okay, so another thing that came out of Katie Wassell's Twitter Spaces. I think I'm the only person that's listened to Katie Wassell's Twitter Spaces and done a full analysis. But she literally said that Melissa gets other people to do her dirty work, and that's how she keeps her hands clean. So she thinks she's being really smart going through all the stories and being like, well, that wasn't me, that wasn't me. So she has a healthy fear of you. Sure, just give me a second. She knows the reach I have. She wants Cast and Colleen to talk, but they won't. Yeah, explain. I have to believe some of them are regretting choosing a side. Yes, that's why she outed you as my crisis person. So if you ever do, then she can point to the depth stuff and it looks like I'm hiding. I don't trust her. It's a shame you picked the wrong side, actually, Justin, but never mind. My social team just flagged there's a new trend because of all this. Don't watch it from your account. Watch it from a fake one, please. Again, I don't know anything about the digital space. I don't have a fake account. Can people see when I watch? Shit. You can choose to turn your profile view history on or off. Turning off profile view history means you won't see who has viewed your profile and others won't see that you've viewed theirs. Pretty sure it's off. 4 big creators so far are doing parodies. It's spreading. So, parodies, because I'm kind of not catching up on the Johnny Depp stuff, because I'll be honest with you, yeah, I definitely knew the Johnny Depp trial was going on. I deliberately chose to not engage with it. I could see it was going on. I really didn't want to get involved in it. But now that I have caught up on it all and seen how the campaign ran very similar to this, that is exactly what they were doing. They were doing parodies of uh, Amber Heard's testimonies, like calling her Amber Turd, and then I remember like seeing, and I like saying she was doing fake crying, and doing the slapping around the face like as a joke. Let's do this when you land. You, Jen, and I jump on a call and go through all. Every agency has clients in trouble, every single one. There is not one publicist that can point towards not having one or 10. Plus, on a scale of kill stories, they are the only ones that have put out any information, not us. And that is a card that I pulled with Leslie. I left it last night as please come back to us and tell us because we are baffled. We will do whatever it takes to either work with you or protect Justin and the studio if anything wrongly leaked and put out there. But until then, we are not doing anything. I want her to report this back to WME. We have a treasure chest now of items to use. Not worried. The adoration of you is vast. I'm sort of feeling like it's not so much the adoration of him as the absolute hatred of Blake Lively is what seems to have lasted a lot longer. Even if you've hired a publicist that specializes in crisis, everyone knows I also work and help so many people in actual trouble. I teach at USC and no skeletons in my closet. Hmm. Is that why you wiped your LinkedIn profile? And your Instagram's on private? Don't worry. Justin loved that 4 big creators are doing parodies of Blake Lively. Did he now? Okay. So what else have we got? Oh, we've got some more. You thought Drake was out after Kendrick handled him. Then again, Chris Brown still has a career after being a blatant abuser for years. I think the thing with Drake is, yeah. Okay, so I was really involved in the Drake Kendrick beef to the point where I was actually in a Discord server at the time. I'm still in it actually. I just don't, I just don't go in. I just don't go in it. I mean, I don't participate. But it's a pro Kendrick Discord server, and I was in another couple of servers as well. There's a lot more. The balance has gone too far. Like there's more creators, like more, you get more traction and engagement from doing anti Drake content than you do from doing pro Drake content. And that's the funny thing, because you know, when Melissa and Jed were talking about I can't remember what the word they used, but like something to do with multicultural or we're really diverse. I'm like, nah, you're not. Because you know, obviously they're just white. They're white, and the hip hop community is still predominantly black people. So they're just not with it. And Drake's just become such a little pleb, you know, doing all that streaming with Aiden Ross and the gambling thing, and like just no one respects him. So even he does have fans and he does have people in comments, but I mean, let's be honest, his career is pretty much dead in the water at the moment. He went to the UK, that was a flop. He had to cancel half his tour. He's got all these lawsuits going on with the gambling endorsements that he's been doing. It just feels very much like no one likes him. Do I know FD Signifier? I definitely watched a little bit of his content, but I'm not sure what to make of him. I've got to be honest. The channels I was watching at the time, so I was really deep into the Ebony Prince thing. Do you remember Ebony Prince? Basically, Ebony Prince outed Drake so badly on Twitter. You could almost felt like a smear campaign, but then at the same time it seemed very organic, because basically Ebony Prince worked at the Mark Hotel, yeah, which is like a kind of a stush hotel in New York where they do the Met Gala. They get ready for the Met Gala there, and it was apparently in Epstein's Black Book, but they couldn't prove any connection to him there. But yeah, so basically Drake was staying there during his when he was doing his New York shows with 21 Savage, the Dogs tour. Who let the dogs out? And he left a whole load of stuff in the room. He had the suite booked out. This is when he was still UMG's golden boy. And so he left all this stuff in the room. And basically, the rules are, if a guest leaves stuff at the hotel and it's not claimed within a certain period of time, then it goes to, I mean, I guess it goes to whoever reported it or the security team. But anyway, he was like the head of security. So he had this arrangement where if people didn't claim jewelry and stuff, he would sell it. And so basically, oh my God, I'm trying to remember the exact story because I don't want to get it wrong. But how the beef started was because an academic said something about him stealing this jewelry. And so remember when the beef was going on, yeah? And Kendrick used that picture of Drake's possessions, and it was like the Ozempic and the pill bottle and the shirt with the dog on it, and a glove, a Maybach glove, and some other bits and bobs. So it turned out that photo was taken by this guy, Ebony Prince, and he wanted to like auction it all off. And basically, academics, I guess, was on Team Drake, and he tried to suggest that this guy had stolen stuff, and then that was how it all kicked off. But yeah, that was when it was game over for Drake, because Ebony Prince kind of got trolled a bit, but the evidence was undeniable. Drake had been staying at that hotel. He'd been caught live streaming with teenagers in the hotel. And then there was this whole incident where this guy in a wheelchair had come to wait for him at he told him to come after the show. And he was literally waiting in the lobby for like 3 hours. And then Drake literally dismissed him within 5 minutes. The guy came out and made some statement saying that he went up to Drake's room and was listening to beats. And Ebony Prince was like, you was only there for 5 minutes. And all these rumors were starting about whether the guy in the wheelchair was a pedo. It was a crazy time to be online. And then there was another whole incident that happened in the restaurant where Drake was a witness, and he didn't want his name to be exposed, and so he was using his alias in the hotel, which was Dick Fitzinwell. And so these people in this Discord server that I was in, they found all these companies that Drake had in his name. And then what else? Oh my God, it was so intense. Drake was like acting like such a diva, saying that there needed to be, his bodyguards apparently like beat someone up. And then this guy, Ebony Prince, was saying that the police like turned about a blind eye to his crimes, and that he had like minors going into the hotel and all this stuff. Anyway, it was wild. Drake was untouchable. I remember being in New York when Take Care came out, I think, with The Weeknd. And yeah, it was like literally he was on the radio, like every song had him on. It was crazy. But I actually quite liked his first mixtape, but then I rapidly went off of him. Academics is super creepy. I know, babe. I know all about that. He's got one civil suit against him. And it's funny, yeah, because I say all of my content is connected. So I made the video about Andy Signal. The girl that's in that, Jade, who I did the interview with, yeah, that's why I did the interview with her, because I'd heard about this story that academics had done a kind of similar thing, where they know girls and they're like, why don't you do an OnlyFans? And then they say to them, like, come and meet my friends. They're going to really help you, like, boost up your account. And then they basically invite them over and then assault them. And then say, well, they wanted it. We were in a relationship. But yeah, let's get back to the document. Sorry. I mean, to be fair, I think the whole thing with Drake has kind of messed up academics as well. Right. We've got another exhibit, which is more messages from Melissa that we haven't seen. This is really juicy. This is her sister. So I didn't know about this. So her sister, this is on 13th. Her sister, Sarah Nathan, who, again, going back to Katie Wassell, she alleges that Sarah Nathan was looking after Ghislaine Maxwell while Melissa Nathan was working for Jeffrey Epstein. She's sending her messages, articles, and I'm not sure if it's a video, but something from people.com. It ends with us director Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively cast clash conflict. So remember, right at the beginning, Jen Abel was like, my best friend is the editor of People. She hates Blake. She'll print whatever we want about her. She's ready to go. Sarah Nathan, I think you've got to start hitting back. I'm listing this. Blake Lively was given final edit approval on It Ends With Us to make the movie more feminine, according to sources. The star and the rest of the cast are not speaking to director and co-star Justin Baldoni, and Brandon Sklenar particularly has a problem with him over, we're told. Although not greenlit as we predicted, there will now be a battle over the sequel. So let me just remind you of the timeline here, because I'm kind of figuring it out in my head. So Leslie Sloan was having a conversation with James Latushka, and she was saying there's been no wrongdoing by Justin. It's just the cast don't like him. She was like, I'm getting on a plane. The story needs to hold. I'll sort this out when I get back. So I think what happened was, that was when Sony stepped in and said, we need to stop this stuff going on. Hold doing any more press. So I think that's when James and Melissa were still talking, but Leslie was like, we're not putting out anything negative. I genuinely think she was doing what they had said. But yeah, meanwhile, Melissa's over there saying it's her putting out all the stories. Because I do remember Leslie saying the cast will go on record, and then obviously they must have decided, no, that's not a good idea. So I think that's what this is all about. It's so weird that I know so much about this. I really can't wait for this trial, because then I'm going to genuinely feel like I'm not a nut job. Although not greenlit as we predicted, there will now be a battle over the sequel. It starts with us, as Baldoni owns the right to the film. But due to the rift with Lively, it's unknown what will happen yet. A source said there were 2 edits and the studio went with a more feminine edit. Blake had the right to do that. She had final edit approval. Yeah, but again, we now know, due to the facts and the data, that her version got a better rating than his. Colleen Hoover thought she did a better job. She loved it. And Justin was very salty about that. And also, her version had the Taylor Swift soundtrack. He was very salty about that because he tried to diss Taylor Swift. So all the facts are coming to light now. Like, it's all making sense. The whole damn thing. The whole sorry state of it. Melissa, just landed. What a journey. Sarah Nathan, Jesus Christ. Melissa Nathan, I can't do F all. Sarah, what the F? Oh, so this is when she was flying to Puerto Rico to do a smear on the BBC with Logan Paul. I need to catch up with the team. Still on plane. Jesus, Mel, that is epic. Oh my God, someone had taken it. They just brought it back. Same sort of bag. I don't know what she's talking about here. Oh, FFS. Honestly, having a breakdown, was about to start effing screaming. She's having a breakdown every day. I was just texting you, name. Okay, go to hotel and have a drink and a bite. Are you at hotel? Yes, on phone. Okay, I'm writing this edit story now, FYI, that she had final edit approval. I'm so effing tired. What other ish is she spinning now? She told them again, it's me and boys. Bots conducting digital warfare. So I think that that isn't her spinning as well. Do you know what that was? That was everyone going, oh my God, Melissa Nathan was behind the Johnny Depp campaign and everyone knew about the bots because of that Observer podcast. That people had actually done their research and were quite intelligent with their analysis on that. It was genuinely organic, Melissa, to quote you. But the other thing I was going to say about this whole, they chose to go with the more feminine edit, wasn't it Justin that said he wanted it to be from the female gaze all along? So he basically got what he wanted. The Melissa Nathan bot farm in association with River Roblox. How bad is she taking him down now? She's so full of ish, it's actually insane. She's not just saying Blake got final edit to make the film more feminine. Oh, she's not just saying Blake got final edit to make the film more feminine. What they want him to do is actually crazy. I told him to lawyer up. There were 2 versions and Blake got final approval. I don't think she finally edit though. How is that English? I don't think she finally edit though. I think he must. I don't think that's true. I think she got to sanction it maybe, like approval. There was 2 different versions and hers tested lower. Maybe someone's been telling you porkies. Sarah Nathan laughed. I think she's just spinning bullshit, but honestly, it doesn't matter because it shows how they are pushing our stories and we are not, so they can continue to go ahead. Big redacted square. It wasn't a more feminine edit, that is outright. Oh, it wasn't a more feminine edit, that is outright. Okay, those are her words, etc. Do we know what precisely happened? From Jen, you are saying she did this as it was a more feminine edit? Question mark, question mark. This is what I was told. We're told us there were 2 versions made and tested with audiences. A studio insider said there were 2 edits and the studio went with a more feminine edit. Blake had the right to do that as she had final edit approval. I think she's talking facts here. I think they've got the data to back this up. Lol, such BS. Call Jen. I'm on Zoom. Sarah Nathan, does she know I'm calling? Yes. I've gone to the wrong subway stop today. Can go suck an egg. Huh? Are you in a hurricane? Are you? This job is ridiculous. Between Justin Baldoni, redacted, could it be Rebel Wilson? Or Travis Scott getting arrested? Or that other guy, Kennedy, doing whatever he was doing? Wasn't there something else about, I don't know, because he's got like weird diet things that he does. I mean, Melissa, you don't have to do this job. You literally don't have to do this job. trying to actually do other work and watching the waves come in to a bedroom that I now hate because it's really dark. I feel like I'm in a film. Yeah, the hurricane about to hit in a few hours. Oi to the very. What hotel? Oh, sorry. Oi to the bay. What hotel? Uh, there's a link to her hotel there, I guess. Only you. Oh, I didn't even know because Alex did the whole thing. And I didn't pay attention properly. It's the one we stayed in that Logan gets rates at. Does he now? But I effing hate this room. She swears so much as well. I really try not to swear in my streams, but it's impossible when I'm reading these texts out. And I've already complained, and they had to pull in all the furniture from the outside, so it's not like a dream or anything. Dream or nightmare? I'm not even sure what Alex could not just do it herself. What? This is a writer. Blake Lively fans blast tone deaf. It ends with us interview. I saw. Still not placing any stories. Yeah, but wasn't that Jed? Wasn't that Jed Wallace doing that? Wasn't that his monitoring? That is all Leslie. This is after she fed me stuff today. This is such a bunch of effing BS. Right? Thankfully, I had a good chat with Jen. From a PR standpoint, she gave her client wrong advice in terms of positioning. Blake didn't even team up with the DV charity she teamed up with, Urban Effing Stems. Blake is not this wonderful angel from up high. God, she's so full of hate. Woo! At least I admit when my clients are ish. This is also so funny. She is the one fueling this, not us. My God, she's really, really trying to convince her. 100%. 1,000%. I'm on with Friedman, but you're effing Leslie. She's placed the effing story on me. To HR, to the Hollywood Reporter saying Justin has hired me. I'm effing done with these old cretin PRs. Ooh. I keep to myself. I think I saw this actually, but it's just another example of her lying straight up to her own sister as well. She can't even trust her own sister. What the F? I don't F anyone over or her, and she's done this. It's not my Leslie. I'm effing so upset. But what is even the story? Pam McClintock is the report. Get them to pull it? They won't. Justin hires JDPR. Oh, FFS. Want me to try and pull? No, it looks fucking babyish. I just think she's so good at doing this. Oh my God, this article is so bad. Do you want me to try and get rid of it? No. It's not even a big story. Everyone is allowed reps. We'll call back. Ryan Reynolds follows 1,654 people on Twitter. One of them is Pamela McClintock. The reporter. I get it. It's ridiculous. I want to cry, and I still have 2 more calls to go. Only 2 weeks till massages. Hold on. Like, how does she know that he follows her? Genuine question. Because I don't think, does Twitter tell you who people are following? I can't remember. I know Instagram does. If you want me to tell Leslie to get it down, I will. No. I'll get her back my own way, I swear. So then we've got this text where she sent a screenshot. Pam from the Hollywood Reporter. And she says, "Hi, good to chat. Just checking in to see if I need to look out for this article, and if so, when. I'm on ET at the moment. Thank you so much. Was just texting you. Story is very fair and going soon. Thank you. God, never nice being on the other side. Hopefully, I will get to work with you on stories with clients in the near future. This is ridiculous. A non-story. Place to be stupid and childish. Honestly, makes you look good. So F them." Ali Z just messaged after reading it and said, "Is good for you." What the F can I say to this ish? Marcy. I don't know who that is. What does that mean? I got them to take it down. Anything. Anything? Absolutely nothing. I texted her again. Legal not heard either. I texted her again too. You are working with Justin. Did Leslie Sloan set up all these bad stories about him? Just make a joke of it and put emojis there. Don't say anything to Marcy at all. Mouth. Right, so that's that one. I think I'm just going to show a couple more. So we've got Leslie Sloan. RFK Jr. Oh, that's it. Has enough in his background for his own video. Oh, I know. I just don't. Honestly, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't want to do politics. I've seen him around for a long time, so I know he does all that Maha. Brainworm, that was it. Yeah, and he definitely he does like podcasts and with all those like freaky health gurus that are all on steroids and whatever else they take, like the Liver King. But I will say this, yeah. When we first had the fallout from the BJ Investigates community thing, yeah, that I made my first ever video about, the troll farm that we realised had joined our Discord server, as soon as we left, we saw that they were all tweeting and posting stuff on Twitter about him and Taylor Swift. And I was like, I'm not being funny, but when were they fans of Taylor Swift and RFK Jr.? And I was just like, I guess I was a bit naive then, but this is going back to like 2023. So this is how I learned fast how this stuff works. These people like just jump onto the whatever the topic is at the time, and they'll be posting about it on Twitter, and they don't know what the F they're talking about. They just think that's what whoever they're following is talking about. It's mad. But I did I did genuinely see that happening. Okay, so now we're going to get to oh yeah, so this is a message. This is a quick one, luckily. This is a message from Melissa Nathan to Leslie Sloan. And it says, and it's on the 14th. She was so busy on that phone on the 14th. I don't know how she keeps her story straight with all these different people. She says to Leslie, I know you did not place this. I know it. You don't even have to tell me. Do you have time to speak to me and Jen? What's that one? Jones Works. Okay, this is the same day. Flagging, this is turning into a trend. One was grab your Aquanet and Coca-Cola. We're going to see a group of flirty girl in Steel Magnolias. Okay, so this must be her talking about the TikTok parodies. Mrs. I don't know anything about digital space. Another was want a spot to watch a heartwarming tale and get married, watch 12 Years a Slave. So I feel like these exhibits show the opposite of what she's testified in the deposition, which was that Jed was employed for monitoring. It's actually she was monitoring and sending stuff to Jed. That's what she's showing in these messages. Another was want a spot to watch a heartwarming tale and get married, watch 12 Years a Slave. Oh, so that must be about the plantation wedding ceremony, I guess, or the wedding ceremony at the former plantation plantation venue. Oh my God, says Jen Abel. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's zoom in for this one. No, I could actually make this full screen. Is that better? Jamila texted me yesterday and flagged something similar and said it's all over for her. The minute it turns into parody, you know the internet hates you. Jamila Jamil, who a couple of months ago was saying, how dare they drag me into this? There are more important things going on in the world. And it's funny how Melissa's like literally taken that and gone straight back to Justin and repeated it. The minute it turns into parody, you know the internet hates you. BL trending again for all the wrong reasons. Justin is texting me on the side. He needs to know how bad it is crisis PR. I'm like, everyone has an effing crisis. She has a crisis PR. And I sent him this. Well, no, she doesn't, according to Jeremy Wilson, is it? I forgot. So many people's names I have to remember. So then she's dropping her Oh, I can actually show you it. We've just seen this. So she's sending this to everyone. Tatiana Siegel, that's her mate from 2014. Harvey Weinstein backing publicist Leslie Sloan's new venture. Sloan, whose clients included Katie Holmes, Blake Lively, and Megan Fox, is expected to bring most of her star roster to her new company, also to be backed by James Dolan. Anyway, the point is, we'd love to show articles about her boss, but he makes sure they're all deleted and covered up. Does old Matthew Hiltzig. Epstein and Weinstein. What a combo. What a guy. And now it's Mr. Beast. Right. She swears so much. Jennifer Abel, I forgot about that, lol. Melissa Nathan, he wants to voice note of me to explain everything. I can't. I hate voice notes. I don't know what to say. I think it is too. Lol, a voice note saying what? Steph texted me last night for the first time since Monday, grilling me about who reached out about the articles about you. I think she placed it too. Melissa, I'm sorry, this is funny. I know I shouldn't laugh. Haha, yes, I told him last night you spoke to Leslie for a while. I'm going to recommend that you, me, and him talk when he lands. Okay, good. Dead. Also, I love you. She's so fake. F her. She's literally on another message. She's like, that Jen Abel, she can't be trusted. Stephanie, yeah. Who else knew this? That's why IT asked Jamie. Matthew obsessed, but wouldn't be able. No, not at all. Alleged cult. So they're talking about Matthew, not Matthew Hiltzig. It's a Matthew who works for Stephanie Jones. And Melissa is about to reveal that she tried to, what's it called when you steal someone's member of staff? Alleged cult. He doesn't know how to play stuff like this. See, that's quite relevant. He doesn't know how to play stuff like this. Not like me. He's got to know she's just placing. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, Jamie, please. Lol. She's always like, I'm best friends with Harvey. No, that is literally your boss. Your boss literally said he was his favorite client and he still has a very good relationship with him. Thankfully, it's not deleted, although give it time. Sorry, I'm so frustrated. I don't want to be rude either. Now the school mums are coming for me. Lol. I hate this. I get so nervous. No, don't be. Jamie called me. I'll call him back. Okay. Bloody hell, Jen. F me. F us all. I just have confirmation that Stephanie is placing stories. I was also shown a text. So that's the TMZ fat shaming article. Blake Lively felt Justin Baldoni fat shamed her, kissed too long during scene. Effing headline. Did you speak to Leslie? Jamie wants me to also speak with her. The thing about TMZ, yeah, is I notice if they're saying what people want them to say, then people don't have a problem with it. But as soon as it's about someone that they don't want to hear, they're like, oh my God, TMZ is trash. Oh, Matthew Mitchell. Thank you. I'm just so bad at remembering all these names. You guys are reviewing my day. She's been a bit quiet since then, hasn't she? She's been a bit quiet about the genocide as well. I mean, speaking of the genocide, I've been really seriously thinking about doing an episode, a deep dive on the ADL and the men's movement and all these talking points, like lowering the age of consent and boys having ADHD, making them impulsive. You think they called him a rat essentially after he was poached? He took SJ's better deal to stay with her, right? Yeah, well, they're about to talk about it in a minute. She couldn't afford him, basically. She just comes across as like a real bitter little bee. Can we balance that effing headline? Ugh. Did you speak to Leslie? Jamie wants me to also speak with her. See? Let me know when you speak to Brody. I know I'm on this, but it will just really help us piece the puzzle together. Also, speaking of TMZ, is there any days when Brian Friedman is not on TMZ or any months or weeks? I've never known anyone pop up on there as much as him. I don't know what to tell Justin because it's not Leslie. Oh yeah, I don't know who Brody is. Some legal thing or something. I responded. Okay, so then we've got a text message from, she loves a screenshot, my God. Steph Jones, he's very close with her. Brody, something for us. Wait, she sent that story? She's placing all these stories. I know it. I effing know it. I looked through US Weekly Web Legal and the writer asked Brody to review before publishing. For which story? On me. You? Oh my effing G. She placed the story. She placed the. She's crazy. Oh, so here we get to Shusty's bullying video. Watch Blake Lively's vicious reply. How is that a vicious reply? It was literally just a flipping listen, bitch. You were told not to speak about that. Vicious. Melissa Nathan, I would describe as vicious. She is vengeful and hateful. That interview, not so much. Oh my God, not us, she says, all caps. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that wasn't sourced by a sourced intelligence? Or no, they do background checks on people's families. You see that? That's what you're messing with, Melissa Nathan. And now you're whinging, oh, I had to call my kid to school. Well, stop doing this then. Stop looking up people's families just so you can write shit about them on the internet. Crazy. This is a spiral. I will hire Matthew. I'm drowning. I need a grown up. I meant Jed Wallace possibly found or had some piece of technology that found that interview and posted it onto Reddit, onto pop culture Reddit, or the LA influencer snark, or the Blake Lively snark subreddit that was set up the same day that his contract started. I will hire Matthew. I'm drowning. I need a grown up. That will be the end of it for her. She will take a hit out on me. On with Harvey. I'm guessing Harvey Levin from TMZ. Lol, call me. Loved, I will hire Matthew. I'm drowning. I need a grown up. Call me when you're off and we can try Brody back. I have a call at 11 so we can give him a ring later. Please tell me that Steph called Harvey because I want that ammo, lol. I have no idea. I just went for a swim because I've been in this hotel room all day and the storm stopped. How bad is she freaking out now? Oh my God, I'm on a call. I'll look in a sec. No, there's an X post. I don't know what that is. This is good to send to Jamie and Justin because I did. Oh, so then that's an inquiry about the HR complaints from TMZ. What on earth? She's so dramatic about everything. What the F? Do you know if it's true? No idea. Let's call Jamie. Are you free? Free. You dropped me. Sorry, couldn't help it. Ha 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 ha. Jen, it ends with us. TMZ getting back to me. Okay, good. Matt wants 200k. He will come work for you. Told you he's pricey. I said to run. You have to legal this, show us the paperwork. Let me ask the powers that be. I thought she was the powers that be. Do you think that's serious? Do you think serious and he would do it? I think you should talk to him, but he wants out and needs out. And this is a way he can still be involved with SB and Wayfarer. 100%. Us all working together will just kill her. The sad thing is that we've all worked out how much we like each other. And if she was a good manager, she would recognize that putting people together instead of pulling them apart is way better. It's funny when you read these people giving advice when they're obviously not very good at what they're giving advice about. Okay, keep me posted. Let's make this happen. He would take it for 200k. Are you free to call Brody? Working hard. So Sony is speaking to press on Blake's behalf? I have no idea who Tony is. This is me being nice to the reporter, obviously, but yes. Jamie should know that Sony is speaking to media on Blake's behalf. It would enrage him that they are supporting her and not Justin. And same with Justin's agent. I just got off the phone with him, but I hadn't told him because it came through just after I put the phone down. I don't know if anyone said this, but didn't the Sony exec send a message going, Justin did well on today's show? Hold off on putting out negative stories. And then they'd heard that it was Jen Abel that had called the story through? Or am I imagining it? I just got off the phone with him, but I hadn't told him because it came through just after I put the phone down. Okay, so those were Jones Works receipts. I think we're nearly at the end. I've got to call my daughter back anyway. Right, so we've done that one. Oh, so there's John Jedward. Okay, so one more bit of her deposition. And then I'll call it a night because it's been 2 hours. I don't want to give it any more time than that. Oh, so this is Ms. Shah questioning. She says, okay, and have you seen each of these documents in exhibits 54 through 58 before? Isn't that correct? I have seen this one. Which one is that? This is the holding clients hostage. That's exhibit 54. I have seen 54. Is 55 from 54? 55 is different. It is another website, stephaniejoneslies.com. I mean, I don't know if they're the same thing for me. I have not seen this before. Which exhibit is that? 58. I have not seen 57 before. Okay. And I know that I was sent a Twitter, but I really don't know if I have seen the majority of exhibit 56 before. Okay. Now, you had a role in the creation of the Stephanie Jones Leaks website that documented in exhibit 54, right? Friedman. Objection. No. You asked Katie Case to write a copy for that website. Isn't that true? That is not true. And you also had a role in the creation of publication of Exhibit 56, the X account, right? No. You asked Katie Case to write copy for at least 5 or 6 tweets that were posted on that X account in Exhibit 56, right? Objection. No. Is it your under oath testimony that you had no involvement whatsoever in any shape or form in anything having to do with the website in Exhibit 54 and the X account in Exhibit 56? Objection. It is yes. And if Katie Case testified to the contrary, would she be lying? Yes. Are you aware that Katie Case testified that you asked her to write copy for the website in part in the creation of the publication of any website on behalf of any of your clients. Objection. I think I testified to that previously that I have. I have probably in my lifetime of dealing with clients talked about websites, my own for one. Any others? I don't know. When I first read that, I was like, she's got a website? Melissa Nathan is a bitch.com. Then I remembered she's got the Tag PR one. Any others? I don't know. If you can show me something that can refresh my memory, then sure. I will show you, but great. Before we get to documents, I want to be very clear about your testimony with respect to Amanda Ghost. So, update on the Rebel Wilson, Charlotte McInnes defamation trial. I haven't been seeing an awful lot of it. I definitely saw a lot of Rebel Wilson. I think she was on the stand for about 3 days. She was absolutely diabolical with her lying. She got caught out so badly. Also, she was shown defaming a journalist. She'd literally doxed the wrong person. Someone who had the same name as a journalist. She had posted a photo of her. She is literally such a troll. And then she didn't take, the woman had to go to court to get her to remove it. And it took 18 months. And then she didn't even apologize. But the reason why I mention it is because Melissa Nathan is causing delays to evidence production in that trial. I think it's starting again on Monday. Did you have any role whatsoever in discussing or conceiving or creating or causing to be created or published a website featuring Amanda Ghost? Objection. To my knowledge, no. Okay. Can you mark the websites and the social media accounts? I'm going to ask that same question with respect to any social media accounts featuring Amanda Ghost. To my knowledge, no. Okay, this will be 65 through 70. Thank you. So we're marking for the record a document marked Exhibit 60. What is this, 5? That's 65, which is a printout of a website entitled Amanda Ghost is a Destroyer of Worlds and says update 9/5/2024, Exhibit 65. I can see that. Marked as Exhibit 66 is a printout of an X account with the handle Amanda Ghost 11. Exhibit 67 is a Pinterest account about Amanda Ghost and seemingly linking to amandaghost.com and appears to also bear a user. Oh, that was the end of that bit. That was pretty boring. That was 1429. Okay, I think. Oh wait, was something. Have I done them all? This is all about that Dober thing. So I think that's happening next week, May 7th or 8th. Okay, Exhibit P. Oh, Jeremy Watkins. Yeah, I was trying to find who this guy was, but this is just where he says that So he has this thing called the Barstool, which is some weird blog website. So here she is bitching again about Stephanie Jones. And she's like, I hate arguing. And between her and SJ, I'm like, what the actual F? Who's SJ? Stephanie. And then he says, you're the boss, gonna happen, lol. I love conflict. Oh. I like fighting conflicts with my clients. I like finding solutions, and I'm really, really good at it. But I don't like the bitchiness and sass of these women. Jeremy says, dealt with Leslie for years. And then she said, I was about to say, loop me in with your dad. I don't know who the hell is that. So I looked up Jeremy Watkins. I literally couldn't find anything. I don't know who he is. I don't know who his dad is. But she says, okay, I'm going to text him. I'm going to arrange a call with him next week. But the reason why I was going to show this was because it said something about Leslie. Welcome to the club, but I have to keep good relationship with her. She's going to freak out, but whatever, doesn't matter for you. No, I understand, but I'm really confused, and I'm talking to you honestly. She's always truthfully honestly. It's so strange. What confuses you about her, lol? She's in over her head on Crisis. She's a celeb pub. See? That was that bit. I don't really know why else they would put that up there. Right. Where was... Did I look at that one? Steve Sarowitz's deposition is such a non-event. Right, I think this is going to be the last one. Okay, so this is Katie Case. Oh my god, how many times have I had to read this bloody message thread? This article needs to run, he needs to see it. Also, hi, how are you? At 6:30, I'm already trying to kill one Rebel story and dealing with Mattel loss for Brian. So basically, Rebel wants one of those sites. I know, I'm sorry. And okay, should be a mixture of that document I think Carolina pulled about Amanda Goes, or the intern pulled. The voice note and this. Okie dokes, I'll put this together this morning. Thank you. It can be really harsh and then linked to Jed S. voice thing. I just can't deal with this SB stuff. What is wrong with him? So I think that's Scooter Braun. I'm not entirely sure, but I will resurface one of her kids is his theory, because anything else does not make sense. Is there anything new about this? I just don't know why they keep showing it. So this was 6th of August. Is Jed doing anything on Justin? I'm having Zoe monitor, but that's not the same, lol. Not yet. They've not signed him on. Oh, I wish they'd get a move on. All they care about is social right now, and we can't do anything about it, lol. Also, what are we supposed to do about a journalist calling her, like, do your job, Jen, lol? Jed and Brian asking me for copy, lol. Kill me. I just sent. Should be in your inbox. Yeah, I feel like we've seen this before. There is a separate thread for anything brigade related, so we still don't know what he's referring to here. That we have with Jones works for reasons that you are aware that have nothing to do with me. Jen is there only a few more weeks, which is a real shame, especially for me, as she is the one that does the actual work and is really great. You and I need to discuss where you see this realistically going. I want to know what happened to the rest of Scooter Braun's evidence. Oh, so this is just about Amanda Ghost. So this is the copy for the website that she's saying that she had nothing to do with. Oh, what's this? Did you get the feedback on the digital stuff? Oh, yes. Look at this. He emailed me something about keeping JW in loop on brigade stuff. I said, of course we did. He specifically said you. My response, how's day 2 so far? Oh, so is this meaning that Jed Wallace does brigading and Stephanie Jones doesn't approve of it? Is that what that means? Because didn't we find out that David Bono and Jed Wallace had a little company together, a little LLC? There was just one more I wanted to show, which was Katie Case talking about the Alexander brothers, and then we're going to definitely leave it. I just don't want to do another. I don't want to do another live stream. I hope it's on it. Okay, so yeah. Katie Case deposition. September 5th, 2025. Do you see that? I do. Who is Brian? I believe Brian Friedman. Brian and Jed were working in collaboration with Tag on the Rebel Wilson account. I didn't work on that account, so I'm not sure. You worked on the copy that Melissa was requesting for that account, correct? This was a one-off request. So you did some work on that account, correct? But there's also the voice note where Jed says, you, me, Brian, Katie, you worked on the copy that Melissa was requesting for that account, correct? This was a one-off request. So you did some work on that account, correct? Specifically, I assisted with this copy. And you knew that Jed and Brian were working together asking for the copy that you were preparing for that account, correct? Objection. Melissa altered me at that time. You knew that both Jed and Brian were to receive the copy, correct? Objection. Objection. I knew that Melissa needed the copy. For whom? In her text message, she said Jen and Brian were looking for it. Did Mr. Friedman work with Tag and Jed on the Wayfarer account? Not during the summer of 2024. When is your understanding that Mr. Friedman started that work? It is my understanding that it was following Blake's CRD complaint, Civil Rights Department complaint, in December. When Tag was looking to identify a subcontractor for digital services in connection with the Wayfarer account, did Tag receive multiple quotes for those services? That was communicated to me by page 374. Prep that they had spoken to anyone representing the Wayfarer parties prior to your preparation. I can't say. Ms. Case, are you aware of various websites and social media accounts that are disparaging of Miss Jones? Objection. I am aware of websites about Miss Jones. Did you create any of the websites that are disparaging of Miss Jones? No. Who did? I don't know. How did you become aware of the websites that are disparaging of Miss Jones? Objection. Objection. How did you become aware of the websites disparaging Miss Jones? I received a call from Melissa in early May. It was communicated to me that a website had been requested. A website has been requested? The creation of a website had been requested. By whom? Objection. Let's designate this AEO, please. We can go off. Yeah. Melissa represented to me that a potential new client had requested the formulation of a website. Who was that new client? Objection. At the time, it was represented to me that it was Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. Melissa Nathan told you that Mr. Johnson had requested preparation of a website about Miss Jones. Objection. She represented to me that he had requested the creation of a website of this nature. Did she tell you anything else about what Mr. Johnson had requested? Not what he had requested specifically. Generally, what had he requested? Not necessarily what he had requested, but specific language was communicated. What was that specific language? That Stephanie holds clients hostage, that she leaks clients' secrets, and that she treats her employees poorly, amongst others. Ms. Nathan told you that Mr. Johnson had said the things that you just said to her? No. Who did Miss Nathan say said Stephanie holds clients hostage? Objection. I don't know who might have said that Stephanie holds clients hostage. Objection. I don't know who might have said that. This language was communicated to me. By Miss Nathan? The conversation was with her, yes. It was a conversation, yes. Did Miss Nathan send you any written communications about this? Not about the language to be used, no. Generally about the websites? At that time, no. She's so annoying. I really wonder what The Rock has to say about this. First of all. Second of all, when I was doing some research ages ago, I found that The Rock had a feud with Ryan Reynolds, coincidentally, and someone else as well. I can't remember who the other person was. There was conversation about the copy that I had written based on the information provided. I redrafted and sent back to her. Did you draft a copy for the website about Miss Jones? Based on the conversation and the language provided to me, I provided copy. So yes, you wrote the copy that became the website of Ms. Jones. StephanieJonesLeaks.com. Do you recognize this as the copy you drafted? I believe so, yes. Do you know how this went from the copy that you drafted to becoming a website? I do not. Did Melissa communicate anything to you about how this became a website after you provided her with the copy? Objection. No. Do you understand there came a time where this website was shut down? Objection. No. Did you understand that there came a time where there was a second website? At the time, I wasn't aware that there was a second website. No. After you provided Ms. Nathan with the copy for Exhibit 35, did you have any other discussions with Ms. Nathan about websites regarding Ms. Jones? Websites, plural, no. I was asked to help alongside her to draft a handful of tweets for the Twitter page, and I was asked again, based on language that I was provided, to extrapolate that into updates to the website. You referred to the Twitter page. What is the Twitter page? I don't recall the specific handle. I was told at the time the site went public, there was a corresponding Twitter page. One of the first times I remember hearing about this stuff was probably about a year ago when I listened in on a hearing and Katie Case's name was mentioned in connection to a Pinterest login. And I was like, Pinterest? And then I knew that like I'd seen like lots of photos of Justin Baldoni on Pinterest boards of like dad aesthetic and stuff. But then when I first saw that Amanda Ghost website and the YouTube page and everything, and the Twitter page, I saw there was a Pinterest. And I was like, damn, that's so weird. But yeah, I believe that Katie Case's name was attached to that Pinterest login. That was being discussed a long time ago. I want to know about the Alexander brothers. She's just being really annoying with answering these questions. How many tweets did you prepare for the Twitter page? Roughly 5 or 6. How did you provide those to Ms. Nathan? I believe maybe Signal. I don't really recall. But the thing is, if you sent them by Signal, wouldn't they disappear? Do you recall communicating with Miss Nathan on Signal regarding Ms. Jones? There was never a formal explanation. I was simply asked to draft tweets. Do you know whether Melissa had any other assistance in this? I don't know. Do you know whether she worked with Jed Wallace on this? Objection. I spoke with Jed in conjunction to Melissa as it related to the tweets. And what did you and Jed discuss? Objection. The tweets. What about the tweets? I provided them via Signal. Was it your understanding that Jed was going to post the tweets? Objection. 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 I don't know. Not exactly sure what she did. Is that correct? That's correct. Do you have any ill will of Melissa Nathan? No. Oh, here we go. Earlier, you testified that the Alexander brothers were turned down by TAG as clients. That's my understanding. Isn't it true that you yourself personally worked for them on the side? What did I say? R-A-T. Doesn't want her face online. I wouldn't qualify it as working with them. Are you saying you didn't perform any services whatsoever for the Alexander brothers? They got found guilty, by the way. It was requested that I connect them to create a website in conjunction with their ongoing litigation. And that was not right for tag, and that was not for tag. It was outside of tag, right? I'm not sure. Well, Melissa Nathan turned down the Alexander brothers. She didn't want them as clients. Isn't that correct? She didn't want them as clients for tag, but I did connect with Melissa and Jed as it related to the website. As it related to the Alexander website, were you paid for that? I received payment for work done in conjunction with Jed and Melissa. You are saying that Jed and Melissa did work for the Alexander brothers? I'm saying they asked me to perform work for the Alexander brothers. And the Alexander brothers? When did you do that work? I don't recall off the top of my head. I believe in October. And that was after Tag had turned them down as clients, correct? That's my understanding. Did you do any other work on the side? Objection. So, yeah. What a rat. And still, that one of the victims, the first woman to come out publicly, Kate, took her own life. After those websites came out. So, yeah, I don't know. I really think public shaming should come back for these people like Katie Case that worked for the Trump organization as well, and Hiltzig. They literally have zero moral compass. And the idea that they're just like women doing a business trying to feed our kids. F them. Right, that's it. That's your lot for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know it's been a bit long, but we got there at the end. In the end, yeah, I'll be back soon for more updates. Peace out for now. Thank you for joining.